Why did I start this podcast? So the main reason why I started this podcast, it really came down to one thing. I wanted to create value for the community. And then furthermore, I wanted to network out and I wanted to talk to other industry professionals and I wanted to learn from them. And I thought the podcast was a great forum for that. And the fact that they're recorded and the fact that they're on the internet for everyone to access means that everyone is going to get the same value that I'm getting out of these conversations because I'm getting professionals in my field and I'm learning from them and I'm applying that into my day job. And hopefully, the goal of the podcast is for you to do the same, whether you're new or experienced in the field, and really learn and grow from this podcast. I also want a no nonsense podcast. So I'm sure a lot of people listening or watching this podcast, they probably run into a podcast where it's like, they spend the first 10 minutes, 15 minutes, talking about random stuff before they even get into the topic at hand. And you're like, man, I just want you to talk about the topic. So first and foremost, we get straight to the point here on Hackers Cash. And that's one thing I really pride myself on because we really stick to the topic of hacking and cybersecurity. There are off-topic conversations, but they are very rare and they have to be earned. So what I mean by that is from episode 1 going forward, there will always be a rapid fire question round. And in those rapid fire question rounds, the guests will get 30 seconds to answer 5 questions. And if they answer all 5 questions in 30 seconds, then they get a bonus 6th question that's unrelated to cybersecurity. And that is the only way an off-topic conversation will happen. And when it happens, it won't last for very long. And in my opinion, it's a fun question to talk about. So that's what I mean by off-topic conversations have to be earned on this show. So the goal of the podcast is to provide value to viewers/listeners every week for years to come. And while there will be topics that are continuously brought up, you will receive a different perspective since the guests on the show will always be the star of the show and their perspectives are unique. So the goal is for me to listen to the guests more than I talk. While I will chime in and provide my 2 cents every episode, the main goal of this show is to get value and information from the guest. And I try my best not to interrupt the guest. And I try my best to speak less than the guest because the guest, like I said, is the star of every single episode, not me. So next I want to talk about what to expect in the near term. So let's just talk about the first 5 episodes after this episode. And like I said earlier, I've already recorded 5 episodes and are fully edited, so I really do know what these episodes contain. So episode 1, the guest is Joshua Ragland. And Joshua talks about the importance of offensive security, the cybersecurity skill shortage, strategies for excelling in CTF competitions, and the correlation between cybersecurity and everyday life. Josh also shares insights on preventing burnout and the impact of cybersecurity attacks on society. Episode 2 will feature Val Vask, and Val will share his insights on his journey from intelligence analyst to penetration testing and red teaming. He discusses certifications, the Metasploit Pro specialist, the relevance of education in cybersecurity, and the transition from penetration tester to senior penetration tester. He also provides valuable advice on training, note-taking, and maintaining technical skills as a leader in cybersecurity. Episode 3 features Robert O'Connor, who shares insights on his journey from IT intern to senior analyst to penetration tester, discussing certifications, specialization in Active Directory assessments, and the challenge of transitioning into pen testing. The conversation also talks about the nuances of different types of pen testing, the impact of imposter syndrome, and the evolving landscape of pen testing roles in the industry. Episode 4 is Christopher Johnson, who shares his journey into offensive security, the challenges he faced, and the importance of continuous learning and perseverance. The conversation also talks about the significance of different certifications, the value of practical experience, and the need for clear differentiation between vulnerability assessments and penetration tests. Additionally, at the end of that episode, I talk about the relevance of LinkedIn for career growth and networking within the cybersecurity industry, which goes perfectly into the next episode, episode 5, where the guest is George Raylenew, who discusses the importance of mentoring, strategies for finding a mentor, and the benefits of building a strong network in cybersecurity. He also shares advice on continuous learning, dealing with imposter syndrome and burnout, and the value of paying it forward in the industry. Going forward, there will always be a strong emphasis on the career journeys of cybersecurity professionals since everyone's journey is unique. And just in case you're wondering, this is not a technical podcast. We might talk about some technical aspects, but overall, don't expect me or the guests to make you an elite hacker. You'd expect us to point you in the right direction to become an elite hacker, though.